Hey guys, it's your boy Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and this is a continuation of the garlic video. So last time I showed you guys how I exactly plant my garlic, and this time it's time to show you the plan that I have for this year. It's a little bit of a change of last year. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. The idea basically is you never want to have bare soil. It doesn't matter whether it's during the warm season or over the winter. Now, the only real problem that I have with bare soil is my raised bed and then my side garden bed. Well, the side garden bed, I just decided to put a bunch of chopped weeds and grass and whatever, and then cover it with landscape fabric. But we're not here about that because that's not where I'm putting my garlic. And my raised bed has a lot to do with what's going on with my garlic this year. So instead of just putting down, chopped leaves or grass or, stuff like my comfrey that I've got now, I've decided that my best case scenario is to do 2 for 1. And we're going to call this a symbiotic relationship in my raised bed. So instead of putting down, like I said, any of the things that I've already listed, I'm sticking my garlic in there. And those are all my potted garlic. I was going to bring some into my garage. I may still do that. There's a couple of big tubs that just will not fit properly into my raised bed. But the ones that do, we're going to use those guys as ground cover. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to put the pots into the bed, but then I'm going to go ahead and utilize some leaves still. I'm not chopping them. I'm just raking them up. Luckily, my neighbor does not mind me raking up his maple leaves, which break up awesomely in compost and even in a raised bed. So what I'm doing is packing all those leaves around every last pot. So the leaves themselves, the reason I'm not chopping them on the side is because the more bulky they are, the more airspace they can hold, and the more insulation they will provide my pots. So hopefully over this winter, no matter how good or bad it is, hopefully my garlic won't die. And then the protected sides of my raised bed, also more insulation, more protection. So I'm hoping that some of the latent heat that's in the ground will radiate through the soil that's in that raised bed, and the combination of the leaves and the soil in there. I may even also tarp it depending on how cold we get, but if I do that, that's where the second part of my plan comes in. So if I need to tarp it for any kind of a reason, for whatever length of time, I will utilize my chopped leaves. And what I'm going to do is, after all the bed is packed in with the garlic pots, and then we have the whole leaves that are shoved down in between all the pots for insulation, I will take the chopped leaves and mound them up on top of the pots. That way there's a barrier between the cold sheet, whether it's plastic or tarp or whatever, and the top of the garlic. Plus there's already the straw there. I'm sure there's going to be some unchopped leaves that are there. So the idea is to just keep that as an area of space where things can survive. So that's the plan, and I guess we'll find out come spring whether or not it works or not. If you have an idea similar to this, you might as well give it a try. I mean, it should, in theory, packed in like that, protect each other, even without the tarp and whatnot. But it saves me from having to put in a cover on top of my raised bed. And like I said, it's a symbiotic relationship. The bed's protecting the garlic and the leaves are protecting the bed. So might as well get as much done at one time as you can. So that's it. My little in bit on the whole garlic series for now. Of course, I might show little snippets of here through the winter. Just depends on how it goes. So, if you guys have any questions or any comments or any kind of ideas that I haven't really thought of yet, let me know. I'd love to hear it, and I'll always love to see the chatter down in the bottom. So, please, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and you know, if you want to keep these going. Also, I have to keep mentioning this, I am still in the process of trying to build an decent editing rig that's going to keep this channel growing and going for the foreseeable future. The only problem is stuff is kind of tight, and I'm getting parts as it goes along, and so far the people who have donated to my GoFundMe, I appreciate you so much. You cannot believe the amount of goodwill that it sends me, that those of you have, out the kindness of your heart, tried to do your best to help support me. So thank you for that. You know, I couldn't ask for more, but yet again, like I said, the project's not done. It's not finished yet, and until I get that done, I'm left just to try to make do with what I've got. So like I said, that's my spiel. I'm done with that. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. I appreciate you guys, whether you donate or not. It's all love. So for now, I'm your boy, Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil. And I'm out of here, guys. Get your garlic planted. Hashtag garlic 2026. Get it done.